classic example of groupthink, where they should have known this was a bad idea. They should have known that the Vietnamese would fight, or the North Vietnamese would fight forever. That it wouldn't be easy to get an anti-communist revolution going in Vietnam, but they didn't. They underestimated what they were up against because they had shared stereotypes of the outgroup, and as a result, tens of thousands of Americans died. Have you ever seen that movie, The Fog of War? It's a documentary about Robert McNamara. It's a great documentary if you want to know the decision making that led to the Vietnam War. Speaking of great documentaries, have you seen Enron's Smartest Guys in the Room? That's a good documentary. It's got Milgram references, some good stuff in there. Very social psychological take on the Enron scandal. A lot of people identify the Enron scandal as a good example of groupthink. Now, why is it a good example of groupthink? Isn't it an example of corporate corruption, where you have a bunch of like very greedy guys who head up this corporation and rip off people, citizens of California, and rip off a bunch of people in America, and then in the end don't quite get away with it? Isn't it an example of greed and corporate culture gone awry? Well, yeah, it may be that, but let's remember that all those guys went to prison. You know, they didn't get away with it. It wasn't in the end good for them. You know, and indeed, they thought that they were invulnerable. They thought they were the smartest guys in the room. They thought they could, rip everybody off and get away with it. But in the end, they underestimated their collective opponents. And that's a great film you might check out. And then, of course, there have been a variety of articles that have been written in op-eds and stuff suggesting that the invasion of Iraq might have been an example of groupthink. At the risk of being political, I'll put a question mark on that. But you can figure it out for yourself what you think. Okay, so where does groupthink come from? I told you a little bit about the symptoms that Janice identifies for when you can notice that you're in groupthink, but where would it come from? Or rather, I guess Janice is identifying symptoms that would help you know that you're in a groupthink situation and or in a group that could maybe become a groupthink situation. So what are the antecedent conditions that lead to groupthink according to Janice? Well, one is group members are highly cohesive. They share a strong sense of cohesion that leads to strong conformity pressures, and those conformity pressures stifle dissent and undermine skepticism, leading to bad group decision making. Other characteristics of the group setting that can lead to groupthink: insulation from external forces, no checks and balances. There's nobody there. This job is to be skeptical of the group's decision making. A variety of leadership dynamics can lend themselves to groupthink, especially highly authoritarian leaders, perhaps with too much power, who everybody defers to and feels they have to defer to. When you have very powerful leaders, essentially, no matter how big the group is, the leader's always making the decision. Homogeneous group membership. Here I think about the Ash experiment. And a lot of people say, oh, the homogeneity of these groups, where it's all upper middle class white males in the 1950s at elite colleges, that's why you get this conformity pressure, because they're all the same, they're trying to be like one another. And you think of balance theory, right, where you're more likely to assimilate somebody's opinion if you like them, you're more likely to like people that are similar to you, etc. Homogeneous group membership can create higher levels of groupthink, because it increases conformity pressures, but also because when you have a homogeneous group, people know the same things, they have the same perspective, they have the same point of view, and they'd be less likely to say, wait a second, this is a bad decision, I know something the rest of the group doesn't, and I'm going to say it. Poor handling of information. When you have incomplete information or you use it selectively, then you're more likely to make bad group level decision making. Stress, time pressure, that can lead groups to fail. The Challenger disaster is a case in point where there's all this stress and all this pressure to get the launch off on time, and that led them to not mobilize all the information they should have. I think stress, time pressure, that's one of the big ones for sure. I think that was also the case with the Bay of Pigs, where they set this invasion day, and they maybe had some reason to be worried about it. They didn't finish really talking to Kennedy about air support and getting a commitment from him. He didn't clearly know what he was getting into, I think, and that pressure, I think, was a large part of why the groupthink result happened. So how can you prevent groupthink? I told you all this vaguely redundant stuff that Janice said about where it comes from, the conditions that lead to it, and how you can know you're in a groupthink situation. But how do you prevent groupthink? Well, one thing is you can establish standards for control. You can have oversight committees. You can have individuals who challenge group decisions. Related to that, you can appoint a sort of designated devil's advocate whose job it is to be skeptical of decision making. And this is actually a very healthy way, I think, to be on a committee. If you have a committee that you're in that has a lot of power and you're making a decision that's high stakes, and you think everybody's kind of just going along with it, maybe appoint yourself devil's advocate. Yes, I've said earlier in this session that can make you very annoying to people. But what you can do is you can say, look, I'm just my devil's advocate. I'm not even necessarily endorsing this, but what about this? Maybe we haven't considered this enough. What about this? Maybe we need to think about that. And if you do that, then the group might make better, more carefully reasoned decisions where they evaluate all the options and all the counter arguments and come to this conclusion before making a decision. And again, it might be useful to deflect the responsibility for that dissent, that skepticism, and say, I don't necessarily endorse this. I'm just saying we should probably think about this before we make a decision. And ombudsmen at universities are sort of like this, right? If you've ever been to the ombudsman, you know that their job is to hear your criticisms of the university or the institution or the classes you're in or something like that. If you didn't know that that's what the ombudsman does, then the ombudsman is going to now get 25 calls in the next couple hours. But that's okay, they should. That's what their job is, to be a university devil's advocate. Okay, or an organization devil's advocate. Also, you can encourage members to voice their concerns. You can actually teach the value of dissent and whistleblowing. In the wake of the corporate scandals from earlier in this decade, in particular the Enron scandal, Time Magazine, who were their people of the year? Do you remember? It was these three whistleblowers, these three people who whistleblown on these corporate scandals, and they said, these are the people of the year. And they were trying to switch. A lot of people have this kind of attitude where you shouldn't rat out your partner, right? You shouldn't rat out people you're with, you shouldn't tell on people. But Time Magazine was trying to change those norms. They were trying, and in general, culturally, we were trying to change those norms and say, wait, whistleblowing, when you're working for a corrupt organization, is actually a virtue. It's actually a good thing to tell on bad behavior if it's hurting lots of people, as indeed Enron was. So you can encourage members to voice their concerns and try and create a culture that's friendly to dissent. And then finally, the simplest thing you can do is make committee voting anonymous, right? If you think back to the political cartoon, or the little cartoon that we showed earlier, what's the big problem there? They're all thinking in their heads, this is an awful decision, but voting with their hands, sure, this is a great decision. If you had just done anonymous voting, you'd be able to capture the fact that no one in the group really agrees with the decision. Okay, so that's groupthink, and let's take a 3 or 4 minute break, and then we'll talk about breaching. All right, talk amongst yourselves. Welcome back. All right. Let's talk about breaching. A couple organizational things. The Cool and Luke film, if you can't see it next Friday, or sorry, next Thursday at 5 p.m., it'll be the Media Resource Center. We'll put it under reserve right after we show it. And then also, there'll be a B-Space announcement that will clarify where it is. If you don't know where it is. It's either in here or Wheeler, we think. You don't know. You do know next Thursday at 5. We're going to give the papers back, the conflict essay papers back after class today. We'll try to end class a little bit early so that we have time to get back to all of you. And here's the breakdown of who has your paper so that you'll know who to go to outside on the little grassy area outside there. If your last name is A through D, you'll be going to Alma. Alma, do you mind standing up really quick just so they know who you are? Alma, she's wearing a gray shirt. She'll be out there. She'll have your paper if you're A through D. If you're E through K, your last name, then you will go to Nora. Nora, do you mind? Yes. Wonderful. And that's pretty funny. If you're L through R, which seems like half the alphabet. Yeah, I got the shaft, I got half the alphabet. You're coming to me, and I'll be very bad at this, so sorry in advance. So this is me. And then if you're S through Z, you will go to Kristen. Kristen, there you go. That's Kristen. S through Z. You have a question, ma'am? No. The movie is purely for the purposes of a paper assignment. And I'll give you some information about paper assignment before you watch it. Cool. Okay, are there any questions about getting it back? Okay. Everybody's whispering. Yes. Cool. Oh, all four of us will be out there, out in front, afterwards, after class. So cool. Okay. All right, any other questions? Okay, good. Okay, there's a lot of dissension. I hear humming. I couldn't agree more. Okay, so we talked about groupthink. We talked about groupthink. Now let's talk about breaching. Breaching, another one of these selected topics, as we talk about conformity and norms. So what is breaching? Breaching is defined here as the purposeful breaking of social norms. Why would you do some kind of breaching? Why would you break social norms? Shouldn't you conform? Of course you should. But you might do it because you want to identify what is and is not a norm. If you go around and you start breaching, selectively breaching, doing a variety of strange things, you might find out norms that weren't apparent to you or weren't explicit, that you were taking for granted, that were implicit in everyday life, that you just didn't have proper perspective on. It can be hard to see something until you see its opposite or enact its opposite. So when you start breaking the rules, it can sometimes make it more clear to you what the rules are. Also, it can be useful for studying how norms and conformity are upheld in society. A lot of the time, we wind up obeying rules of conduct and norms for appropriate behavior, and we just do it because everybody's doing it, and we assume that they're enforced by people, that if you didn't do them, you'd be sanctioned or made fun of or silently judged. And maybe that's the case, but you don't know until you break them. That's why you should go out of this class and start breaking all the norms you can. But in all seriousness, it is a good way to study how the norms and conformity are upheld or maybe not upheld. Maybe it's the case that if you broke those norms, nothing would particularly happen. So I keep telling you, breaching is a purposeful breaking of norms. What is a norm? Well, if you're in this class, you probably heard this term a lot, but you may or may not have heard it defined. So here's Christine Horn, a friend of mine, who defined norms as rules about which there is some degree of consensus that are enforced through social sanctions. When you conform, you're essentially conforming to norms. And really, in reality, people just have to think that the norms are enforced. They don't have to actually be enforced. What matters is the subjective belief that a norm would be enforced. That can be sufficient to make people fall in line. So, for example, politeness norms are generally not enforced. You know all those rules about how you have to use one of the forks for salad and another one of the forks for like your entree? They're not even on the left, right? They're like on the right or something. Man, I'm a nightmare with this stuff. Like, when I got this job, like all of a sudden I had to start having dinner with people who ate properly, you know? Whatever that is, I don't even know. And I was going to restaurants with entrees that cost more than $7, you know? And I'm very uncomfortable in these situations. I don't know the rules. I'm like doing stupid stuff like cleaning my hands with like the tap water. You know, like, I don't know what the rules are. I think, you know, I'm like cleaning my fingernails with a spoon. You're supposed to use the fork apparently, you know? So I don't know. And I'm always breaching and they're like carrying, you know, the waiters, they're classier than I am, right? The busboys will be taking the forks away and I'm like, oh my God, you used the wrong fork. But we'll pretend you didn't, you know? And, cause we're paid to do it, you know? Make this idiot look good. And so I don't know these rules. And one thing I found is that essentially when I eat dinner, it's one big breach, you know? Now when I eat dinner with my colleagues, it's just a litany of breaches. It's like the Ali G show. Like I'm just a fool of a man. And I'll be like eating the chicken, you know, with my hands. And you don't do that, you know? I don't know. Probably, I thought you did. It makes more sense to. And that's why they give you a napkin. But anyway, so it's all this one big breach. And what I find is no one enforces the norms, right? No one, we have all these norms, and I know I'm breaking all the rules, and nobody makes fun of me. Nobody sanctions me. Why not? I'm not exactly sure. But the point is that you have to just think that they'll be enforced. And now, having found out that they're not enforced, I'm like, I'm eating the chicken with my legs, you know? Like, I don't you know? Like, yes, sir, you have a question. Good example. Yeah. Right. That's possible. That would explain what happened in my social life over the last couple years. Yeah. Maybe you don't get invited back. That's possible. I know that's possible. Yeah, no, I think that there are subtle ways in which politeness norms are enforced. But I think what's most interesting to me about it is that in a situation you break a politeness norm, generally it is not enforced. And in fact, there's even rules of etiquette that say you shouldn't enforce politeness norms on people. How many of you are familiar with Emily Post? Anybody? Okay. So what is Emily Post? Can somebody help me? It's like Miss Manners. Yeah. Wait. Exactly. That's exactly it. She is the woman that wrote the Bible etiquette. She wrote the book about politeness norms. She was the one that went down and codified what we're all supposed to implicitly know. But how are you supposed to know this if your parents didn't know it, and nobody tells you, and nobody talks about it, and it's supposed to be subtle, and they don't enforce it, and you break the rules? Obviously, I'm very frustrated with these rules. But she wrote a book, and the book is ridiculous. Like, you should get a copy of this book, read this book, and find out all the rules that you supposedly were supposed to know the whole time, that you've been breaking your whole life. There's also just absurdly specific upper class crap in that book. Like, how you're supposed to address, like, a former lieutenant's wife, you know, at a cocktail party, and you're supposed to call her, like, you know, Miss your honorificness or something like that. It's just absurd. Or, like, how you're supposed to shake the hand of a defrocked priest or something. You know, it's like, yeah, I don't know, like ridiculous rules for every category of person of consequence you're supposed to follow. But what does Emily Post say you're supposed to do if somebody starts eating the chicken with their hands because they're a Philistine? What does Emily Post say you're supposed to do? Yes, ma'am. Exactly right. Perfect answer. You're not supposed to make your guests feel out of place, and that's the biggest rule of Emily Post. And actually, it's kind of a sweet rule, right? It kind of redeems all the, like, here's how you talk to the lieutenant's wife stuff. She says you're not supposed to make your guests ever feel out of place, so you put your fork down, you pick up the chicken, and you start eating it with your fingers as well. And so in a way, I've now redeemed Emily Post, who's actually like this very sweet person who advises that you break all the norms in order to make your guests feel comfortable. So that's an interesting thing, right? That these politeness norms are understood. They undergird the social order. They make eating dinner with middle-aged people a total nightmare. But they also, they're also weirdly not enforced. Breaching. So norms, as you would imagine, vary across cultures. In fact, one definition or one sense of what culture is just a bunch of different norms that are bounded among some group of people and have some history of evolution, cultural evolution. So norms vary across cultures and are what we would say in sociology, we'd say they're culturally bounded. That you can't know for sure what the norms are going to be in some other culture until you get there. You can't assume the norms here will apply there. This is almost like the most basic observation about culture, right? Like I'm telling you this and you're rolling your eyes in your head. You're like, yes, I know. I learned this in the first week of my cultural anthropology class and whatnot. But nonetheless, I will rehearse this just in case you forgot it. Things that are inoffensive here may be offensive elsewhere. So like the OK sign in Brazil or something, right? Is this one I always talk about in anthropology? This is actually even stop doing it. Right, it's Brazil, right? Or okay, well, wherever it is, it's supposed to be like up yours or something very much a grosser version of that. The hand that you shake with, in certain countries you don't shake with the left or the right hand because it would mean because you're supposed to be using it for various bathroom-related purposes. Also, things that are inoffensive elsewhere are offensive here. Gender roles, gender norms, the way that women are treated in a variety of countries is considered normal and routine there and would be considered offensive in our culture. And then often, I don't know if you've been in tourism, if you've been a tourist in other countries, this often entails a series of accidental breaches. So in Japan, I went to Japan for 2 weeks a couple years ago, and again, my whole time there was just this tomfoolery, Keystone Cops, slapstick, just Rob's breaching all the norms for 2 weeks thing. I did everything wrong. There's a way you're supposed to fold your robe, like when you, I didn't go out in a robe, but there's times when you would, so I went out in a robe, you're not supposed to do that. But yeah, there's a way you're supposed to fold your robe like one side or the other. Does anybody know this? Left over right, thank you. And if you fold it right over left, this is inappropriate for what reason? That's how they fold it when you're dead. So it means you're saying, I'm dead. And it probably means you're sort of being disrespectful to like dead relatives and whatnot. So this is very bad. Also, you have to be careful how you leave your chopsticks in like a bowl of noodles, for example, at the end of the meal. No, you don't. They tell you that you do, though. You don't cross them. Exactly. So don't stand them up in your rice bowl at the end of the meal because that means something about death as well. And so, yeah, so of course I just went right for all these taboo practices and was just like pulling the robe the wrong way while putting chopsticks in the rice. And Japanese people were just like aghast, shocked. Meanwhile, I saw some weird shit by my standards, right? Like by my cultural standards, I was seeing strange things that I just couldn't even believe. I was walking off of a subway one. This is so stupid. This is like Rob telling you his tourist stories. I'm sure yours are better. I'll just tell you mine. I was walking off of a subway platform one time right next to this businessman in a three-piece suit. I didn't even see people in three-piece suits very much. So I was kind of like, oh, that guy's like weirdly well dressed, And then we get to the top of the subway platform and he just starts urinating on the street. Just openly urinating on the street. And I'm like, oh my god. I was totally shocked by this. And the people were like, yeah, it's important you not stare or look at them. When they're doing that, it's sort of okay, sort of not okay, and you should be like Emily Post and not make light of it. So I started urinating at the top. But yeah, so it was just I wanted to make it feel comfortable, and that's how we do it in America. So I'm getting so much trouble for that. Okay, so what happens in Social 150A stays in Social 150A. Okay, I mean that, please. The webcast ensures this. So anyway, so tourism can often entail accidental breaching because you don't know what the norms are in order to obey them. History of breaching. Breaching as a concept was maybe not invented by Howard Garfinkel, but first was scientifically studied by Howard Garfinkel. And Howard Garfinkel studied ethnomethodology, this kind of approach to study everyday life. And I think I mentioned earlier in the semester that ethnomethodology is the longest word that I know, and I'm not exactly sure what it means. But you can look that up and learn more than I know about ethnomethodology in about 5 minutes. But the point is Howard Garfinkel was interested in how people make sense of and understand the world, and that's probably what he meant by that big long word. And he pioneered the use of breaching experiments in order to study how the social order is upheld. How is it that in everyday life we maintain this fluidity of interaction, and what happens when it's broken? So again, it's this logic of if you break the norms, you'll see how they're enforced, whether they're enforced, and what they mean. So we'll get back to Garfinkel, we'll get back to breaching, but let's talk about Stanley Milgram for a second. So Stanley Milgram's the guy who did the shock experiment, right, the obedience experiment with the electric shocks, and he's famous also. He ran tons of really interesting, cool studies, in my opinion. I'm a Milgram apologist. A lot of people hate Milgram because he did these obedience experiments. Fair enough, but he also did a lot of creative stuff, like the most famous breaching experiment in history. So Milgram had his students ride the New York City subway trains and go up to riders who were sitting on their seat, in their seats, and ask them for their seats.